Hello, my name is Richard Russell, and in just 3 minutes, I'm going to try and help you either avoid disputes within the NHS or resolve them to some extent. You won't necessarily win, but it will hopefully help you move the whole issue forwards and start getting onto other topics. And so, one of the key lessons learned from all the disputes over all the years is to break down the issue into its component parts. If you just keep it as one big issue, you're probably going to be dead in the water because there's so many different bits of guidance playing, so many different bits of it, it's hard to work out what the right answer is. But break it down into its component parts and get each component part resolved. It might be some expert input, it might be some reading the guidance, but solve each individual issue and build it up to the overarching. That way, if you've got four issues, you might be right on three, wrong on one. It's better than losing the entire thing because the one you were wrong on kind of coloured everything else thereafter. Now, the NHS standard contract is king. It makes all the other guidance contractually binding. And I would strongly recommend following the contract, raising contract performance notices, raising activity query notices, etc. But dispute resolution is brilliant because it will solve the issue. How quickly? Few months max, but it will solve the issue. You won't have issues ongoing for several years. And it starts with getting some new people involved in the issue. It moves on to mediation. And this is brilliant because it forces everybody to document their issue, write it down, and then ideally look at how the guidance applies to each of those issues. You can no longer keep changing it. You might change it for the final arbitration, but you no longer keep changing it. So get things documented, get things finalized, and get a fresh pair of eyes on the issues so we can try and make sure everybody understands each other's issues and we're talking about the same thing. You don't want an issue where I think it's green, I think it's an apple. You're saying different things, but it's, you want to make sure everyone's saying, I think it's a green apple. I think it's green apple too. Oh, so we're not in disagreement. No, brilliant. Moving on. Now, NHS England will do an arbitration for you within the NHS, and quite often that moves forwards. But make sure you've got the right path to the dispute. It might need three parties to be part of the dispute to make sure you get the right answer. So make sure you've got the right parties to the dispute, that the contract is actually read and the associated guidance alongside the contract is read because the contract is king. And just think, get expert support depending on the type of query, depends on where you go for that expert support, but do it jointly. By doing it jointly, you will make sure that when you get the answer, you're not going to be disputing what the answer says or what the question raised was. So Richard at rsrconsultants.com, hopefully some of that might help.